This is the Troll Patrol, live with Justin Freakin.
that happens from time to time. I pulled my headphones out and it caused my computer to crash. That's what happens when you build a computer yourself. What up, Warlord? I'm back. We'll give people a moment to get back in here, and then we'll go back to finding out what that news be doing. No, it wasn't my internet. Oh, I didn't hear a light. Not my internet. That was my computer crashed on me. 'Cause I pulled out my headphones. Just for a while, it was when I was doing a Adobe program and Discord, like something about the video card conflicts, and it causes my computer to crash. It's just a thing that happens. We have to deal with it, and it has been my headphone jack. Shit about my headphone jack has caused me to crash. Anyway. Welcome back. We'll give it just another. I'll take another hit here. We'll give it another second. Let me go fix up the YouTube stream because it probably started a whole new stream on me. It started a whole new stream on me while telling me that the old stream is still going. YouTube is wonderful like that. If you're watching on YouTube, give the stream a like. I'll go fix this stream up here. Put the artwork on it, put it in the right place in the playlist. Make sure it's monetized. We'll get my 4 cents from YouTube. Sometimes it's 14 cents, sometimes it's 4 cents. You go to the live section here. If it does say that the other stream is still live, we'll kill it. In this one, that way we only got the one. Nobody's confused. Okay, now we're ready to go. I think. Ooh. Yay. Streaming. Should we do the meme again? In case everyone missed it, here's your meme of the day. Oh, I popped a different one on you. Everyone in the stadium, A minor. Okay, anyway, back to serious shit. Trump says Gaza truce should end as Hamas suspends captives release. Hamas suspends the next release of captives held in Gaza indefinitely, accusing Israel of violating the terms of the ceasefire deal, including by continuing to kill Palestinians and obstructing the delivery of humanitarian aid. U.S. President Donald Trump says the Gaza ceasefire deal should be canceled if all the Israeli captives are not released by Saturday. God, he's giving them an ultimatum now. Khalid El-Gindi, visiting scholar at Georgetown University Center for Contemporary Arab Studies, told Al Jazeera that Trump is not interested in the details of the Gaza ceasefire deal. I think that Trump was always about the headline of the ceasefire more than the ceasefire itself. He wanted to get credit for it. He likes to promote the fact that he was instrumental in securing that ceasefire rather than former President Biden, but I don't think he really cares much for whether it's actually implemented or continues. I mean, after all, he's proposing the expulsion of an entire civilian population. Netanyahu himself, I think, would not be upset by a return to full-blown war in Gaza, but this time it would not be about the hostages, but it would be about, I think, completing or implementing the vision for depopulating Gaza, which now has the backing of the most powerful country in the world, the United States. Fear in Gaza after Hamas suspends captives' release. The announcement made by the spokesperson of the military wing of Hamas has triggered a huge wave of fear among Palestinians regarding the sustainability of the ceasefire deal. Israel has not comprehensively adhered to the terms of the agreement. Palestinians say the number of aid trucks that have entered the Gaza Strip is less than what has been promised. There's been a complete lack of basic necessities in the Gaza Strip, including fuel and makeshift shelters. It is a similar situation with the evacuation of the sick and wounded. Under the terms of the deal, some 50 patients are supposed to evacuate out of the Strip daily, but the number allowed so far is less than that. Civilians here are afraid of the potential repercussions, as the current deal has offered them partial stability as well as a glimmer of hope regarding the entry of humanitarian supplies. But in the coming days, they hope to witness a different sort of negotiations that regional mediators will step in to ensure the sustainability of the ceasefire deal through the first phase and into the second. You see a displaced Palestinian family in the back of a truck. Trump asserted that he is committed to owning Gaza. Literally what he said. This was on the plane last night on his way to the Super Bowl. Hi again, Julie. Sorry for the dropout there.
I'm committed to buying and owning Gaza. As far as us rebuilding it, we may give it to other states in the Middle East to build sections of it. Other people may do it through our auspices. But we're committed to owning it, taking it, and making sure that Hamas doesn't move back. There's nothing to move back into.
That's fucked up.
A demolition site. It'll be, the remainder will be demolished. Everything's demolished. I mean, you can't live in those buildings right now. They're very unsafe. But we'll make it into a very good site for future development by somebody. We'll let other countries develop parts of it. It'll be beautiful. People can come from all over the world and live there. But we're going to take care of the Palestinians. They don't want to go back to Gaza.
What do you mean by take care of them?
They only go back because they have no alternative.
No, it's their home. In a pre-taped interview with Fox News, Trump said displaced Palestinians do not have the right to return to Gaza.
Real estate development for the future. It would be a beautiful piece of land.
Would the Palestinians have the right to return?
Spent. No, they wouldn't, because they're going to have much better housing, much better. In other words, I'm talking about building a permanent place for them.
Their country, man. Like, that's their country, dude. I doubt he understands shit about it. What's happening in the Gaza Strip and Sudan that sparked a protest at the Super Bowl halftime show? You can see the Palestinian flag, the Sudanese flag.
A performer at Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl halftime show was detained and will be banned for life from NFL stadiums and events after the individual unfurled a combination Sudanese-Palestinian flag. The performer, who was part of the 400-member field cast, stood on a car being used as a prop and held the flag aloft. It was emblazoned with the words Sudan and Gaza. The NFL said the performer had hidden the flag, unveiling it late in the show, adding that no one involved in the production knew of the performer's plans. The New Orleans Police Department has said it is working to determine applicable charges.
What charges? I hope Kendrick steps in, endorses it. A performer at Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl halftime show unfurled a flag emblazoned with the words Sudan and Gaza in a protest over the two words that are roiling the Middle East. Security at the stadium detained the performer shortly after waving the flag atop a car. Online activists have sought to draw attention to both Gaza and Sudan. Though the conflicts have different roots and participants, the idea of the two conflicts being linked by their devastation has been made by celebrities. In August, American rapper Macklemore said he canceled a concert in Dubai over the United Arab Emirates' role in the ongoing genocide and humanitarian crisis in Sudan. Though its reported support of the reported support of the paramilitary RSF, while the UAE repeatedly has denied arming the RSF, UN experts reported credible evidence last year showed that the Emirates sent weapons to the RSF several times a week from northern Chad. Macklemore at the time said he reconsidered the show in part over his recent public support of Palestinians over the Israel-Hamas war. He has been performing a song called Heinz Hall in honor of a young girl named Hind Rajab, who was killed in Gaza in a shooting that Palestinians have blamed on Israeli forces opening fire on a civilian car. I don't know what law they broke, disturbing the peace, possibly clinically. They had every right to be there. They were a performer in the show. Amazingly enough, Trump's poll numbers are really good, and CNN was very giddy over this.
They show us sort of where we're at now and how rare it is that this number
so
changed.
I want you to take a look at this plus sign, right? Compare that to the negative sign. Being on the plus side of the ledger, right? In positive net approval territory, a positive net approval rating for Donald Trump. Again, whoa. Entire first term, just 11 days, Donald Trump had a net positive approval rating. Compare that to the second term, just so far, every single day of Trump's second term so far, he has been on the positive side of the ledger. 21 days, all 3 weeks. That's already 10 more days than he was in his entire first term. So again, this is just another sign that Americans are far more likely to like what they're seeing in his second term than they were during his first term.
He also won the popular vote in his second term, so it stands to reason that there would be more people that would approve of some of what he's doing. Is there something that Americans say about why it is that they like him now more than they did back in the first term?
You know, I think one of the things that's so important for politicians is for folks to believe what they're saying and that they're keeping their campaign promises. So I think this gives you a pretty gosh darn
Tier
good idea
two.
of what may be going on. Trump's doing what he promised to do. You go back to April of 2017, it was just 46%.
I mean, he promised to rob the government.
Trump was doing what he promised to do. Compare that now to February of 2025. You know, there was a good show that was on during the 1990s called A Different World. That is what's going on right now. We're living in a different world. 70% of Americans say Trump is doing what he promised to do. Again, compare that to April of 2017 when it's just 46%. When Americans are 24 points likely to say that you're doing what you promised to do, it's no wonder that your net approval rating is much more likely to be on
We're not going to make it as a country, are we?
the negative side. And so far, what we're seeing, again, is Americans, 21 days so far versus just 11 days during his entire first term, that Trump has a positive net approval rating. Quite a different world.
Totally.
Seriously, Avalon. It was a good run. Welcome in. Good evening, everyone. Sorry for the hiccup earlier. We back. Trump accused of not obeying a court order to lift a freeze on spending. But what are they going to do about it?
Today, a federal judge said that President Donald Trump violated his order that lifted a blanket freeze on federal spending and again directed the administration to release the funds.
That as top prosecutors in nearly half the country just won a temporary legal victory, restoring medical research funding stripped late last week. White House correspondent Laura Barone-Lopez joins us now for more. So, Laura, we're 3 weeks into the Trump administration. You're seeing a growing number of federal judges describe the president's actions as overreach. What more did federal judges say about Mr. Trump's attempts to freeze some of those federal funds?
So on that sweeping freeze of federal funding, District Judge John McConnell said in a ruling today that the Trump administration's continued freeze of those funds, quote, violate the plain text of an order that he previously issued, saying that they needed to stop and that they need.
Are you going to send marshals after him?
Funds. And Judge McConnell called Trump's actions, quote, likely unconstitutional, and said that the freeze continues to, quote, cause irreparable harm to much of the country. Now, he didn't hold any government officials in contempt, criminal contempt, but hinted that he might in the future if they violate this order. And he specifically ordered the administration to stop freezing money for the infrastructure law, for the Inflation Reduction Act, those are Biden-era laws, as well as said that that the administration needed to release funding for the National Institutes of Health. So the big question here, Amna, is does the Trump administration comply with this judge's order? I asked the White House. They didn't answer that question. And there's some suggestions from people like Vice President Pence as well as Elon Musk that they think that the administration should defy the court orders.
You mentioned the National Institutes of Health, or NIH. On Friday night, we should remind folks, the Trump administration announced it was cutting billions of dollars in NIH funding. We just saw a temporary legal victory for the case to let those funds move ahead. What should we understand about that case and its impact?
So now a second judge has said just moments ago that the administration needs to release that funding for the National Institutes of Health that goes to medical centers, that goes to universities, and it funds research for things like cancer, heart disease, and diabetes. And they said that the administration needs to show within 24 hours that they have released that funds, and they have to show that on an ongoing basis because essentially the states argued that this is life-saving research that is being held up because of this block.
Meanwhile, we see Mr. Trump and Elon Musk's work to slash the federal workforce continue, this time with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Tell us about that.
That's right. Russ Vought, who is the head of the budget office for the Trump administration, but also the acting director of the CFPB, that consumer watchdog group, he ordered that all CFPB staff stop working, don't come into the office. This is something that Project 2025 wanted to do. They wanted to eliminate the entire agency. But like the USAID agency for international development, it takes an act of Congress if you're going to dismantle any of these agencies or even try to transfer their functions. And so, again, it's a question of whether or not Congress is going to step in here.
No.
Playbook similar to what they did with USAID. And we did see today that despite, again, a judge's order saying that USAID workers had to be allowed to return to work and to reinstate their functions and the work of the agency, ultimately, those workers were barred from entering their office today, Amna.
Our White House correspondent Laura Barone-Lopez with the latest.
So if he keeps defying a judge, who is going to enforce it? Are you going to arrest administration officials? What in the fuck is going to happen here? It's in the last hour or so, Trump has fucking had the DOJ drop the investigation into New York Mayor Eric Adams, has also now pardoned former Governor Rod Blagojevich. This was earlier before the part, it's now official. He has been pardoned. This is just breaking news.
Being pardoned.
Well, I mean, the only thing I'll say is I don't think it's appropriate for me to comment about any rumors that are swirling around. I think, except to say one thing, that I'll always be profoundly grateful to President Trump for everything he's done for
You might not know who Rod Blagojevich is. His scandal dates back to the mid-2000s. He actually tried to accept a bribe or auction off getting Barack Obama's Senate seat following his election to president. He tried to solicit bribes to see if he could appoint someone to that Senate seat and was convicted.
It's everlasting gratitude. He's a great guy, and I think the world of him. I think he's going to do great for America.
As you wait to see if this is going to happen, I mean, does it hearten you to think that there's a possibility that this could, clear your record, if you will?
I think that right now that's the appropriate thing to say.
There's talk about him being an ambassador.
To be the ambassador now. Could you
see?
How could you help in that respect?
So I stand by my statement, and it's kind of a mixed blessing to see all you guys again. It's actually nice to see you.
What would it mean to you to be UN ambassador to Serbia?
To Serbia.
I'll talk to you guys in a little while. I'll be walking out again if you want to get me the next time around.
You got an approximate time you expect to be walking out?
Huh? No, I have an appointment with them at News Nation at 8 o'clock.
Okay. Well, we have to talk to you before.
Rod Blagojevich, everybody, now officially pardoned by Trump.
Just we're after him.
President Donald Trump speaking tonight upon signing an official pardon for former Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich, who, with a clean slate, is now free to run again for elected office.
It's my honor to do it. I've watched him. He was set up by a lot of bad people, some of the same people that I had to deal with.
I'll always be profoundly grateful to President Trump for everything he's done for me and for my family. It's everlasting gratitude. He's a great guy, and I think the world of him. I think he's going to do great for America.
Rod Blagojevich speaking briefly today with reporters outside his home, praising President Donald Trump as news broke that he's likely in line for a full pardon, though he declined to comment on much else.
I stand by my statement, and it's kind of a mixed blessing to see all you guys again. It's actually nice to see you.
He rose to the office of Governor of Illinois back in 2002, even re-elected to a second term before things came crashing down around him in December 2008. That's when federal agents showed up at his door and arrested him on a wealth of different political corruption charges. One of the men at his door that morning was Rob Grant, the former head of the FBI in Chicago, whom WGN spoke with in 2019.
My job was to wake him up, not create commotion. We were trying to do this quietly, inobtrusively as possible, and not disturb too much the daughters, for sure.
The charges against Blagojevich included trying to shake down a children's hospital CEO for campaign contributions, and an effort made to sell Barack Obama's old Senate seat, vacated when he was elected to the White House.
And that I'm innocent of any and all of these allegations.
The Illinois General Assembly impeached Blagojevich and removed him from office in 2009, but it took 2 trials to convict him. The first jury was hung before he was eventually found guilty in 2011.
I got a hung jury.
And sentenced to 14 years in prison. He served 8 of them before Trump's commutation, which Grant, when we chatted with him previously, called a miscarriage of justice.
I have sympathy for the family saying he's been in prison a long time, but he's in prison for a long time for a very specific reason, because he was very corrupt.
Now the future looks brighter for Blagojevich, with multiple outlets reporting a potential job offer from the president coming down the pipeline, as well as U.S. ambassador to Serbia, which we also quizzed him on today, and we may just find out more about that tonight.
I'll talk to you guys in a little while.
To Serbia.
Get out again if you want to get me the next time around.
Now, he hasn't come out since, but we did ask him about that new job when we chatted with him, and he did not want to comment on that, but we're told he and his wife will be hosting a press conference here at 9 o'clock tonight, so we do hope to have more information for you on our later shows. We're live in Ravenswood Manor. Bruno Tumulty, WGN News.
That's in 15 minutes our time, but I think they are Chicago's on Central Time. So that'd be an hour and 15 minutes. Ponder Monkey, good evening. Speaking of corrupt as fuck, Eric Adams also has had the federal investigation into him dropped by the DOJ.
Just instructed federal prosecutors in the Southern District of New York to drop the bribery case against New York Mayor Eric Adams. Aaron Katersky,
draining the swamp.
Just tell us what you're learning.
This came in a letter from the acting number 2 official at the Justice Department, Emil Bovey. The letter...
Quesadilla, Milv, good evening.
Prosecutors here in New York, Lindsay, to drop the charges against Mayor Eric Adams, who was scheduled to go on trial this spring, charged with corrupting his office by taking bribes in the form of luxury travel benefits and the like in exchange for official favors. The most prominent of which, federal prosecutors said, was interfering in trying to get the new Turkish consulate open before the FDNY was comfortable with the operating permits. But Tonight, the number 2 official in the Justice Department has instructed federal prosecutors to drop the criminal charges against Mayor Adams. Still
nothing matters anymore.
Federal prosecutor's office is going to respond, because any decision like that would have to go before a judge.
And so we know that Mayor Adams did go visit Donald Trump in Mar-a-Lago just a few.
Now this happened with Flynn, Michael Flynn, back during the first administration. Trump tried to order the DOJ to stop the prosecution, and the judge was like, "Nuh-uh, I don't think we'll be doing that."
A few weeks ago, any known connection?
We don't know specifically what they discussed, and the mayor has been pretty coy about it, but I think there was no question he was pushing for a pardon or some kind of intervention by President Trump. Now, this comes way before the mayor even goes on trial. Was there any kind of quid pro quo? That we're not sure, but we know that Adams has been fairly quiet when it comes to issues like immigration or congestion pricing or other things where Trump may want to have some influence in New York where a different mayor may have outright stood in the way.
Quite a fascinating development. Aaron Katersky, thanks to you.
Thanks, Lindsay.
Fascinating is one way to describe it. Trump apparently announcing steel tariffs earlier today. If you're gonna do it, go all out. Go fucking balls to the walls. I wanna see the Trump agenda completely enacted, because it will wreck the fucking economy. Let him go in and slash all these agencies. Let him deport all these people. Let's see it in action so people can get a good taste of it.
These retaliatory tariffs hit the U.S. President Trump says he is poised to impose more taxes on foreign goods. Democrats are now mobilizing, and labor unions are looking to the courts to slow down the Trump administration's actions. NBC's Von Hilliard reports from Capitol Hill.
Any steel coming into the United States is going to have a 25% tariff.
President Trump on Sunday making that announcement, adding there will also be a 25% import tax on aluminum. The president adding he intends to tax almost every country that taxes U.S. exports, except the ones he says treat the U.S. fairly.
The ones that are taking advantage of the United States, we're going to have it's reciprocity, it's reciprocal.
Canada is the biggest exporter of steel and aluminum to the U.S., and in the short term, these tariffs could raise prices, but experts say they see investment in the long term. Today, China tariffs on U.S. goods set in, meaning American companies could soon feel the pinch. Meanwhile, Democrats figuring out how they'll respond more effectively to Musk and Trump's torrent moves to overhaul the government.
21 days, we have seen Elon Musk conducting illegal raids on federal agencies with his Doge crew.
Today, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer laying out strategies to fight back with oversight, litigation, legislation, and communication and mobilization. And in a Boston courtroom, a judge hearing arguments on the Trump buyout proposal or deferred resignation plan, another deal to shrink the federal government, offering workers 8 months' pay before they resign. Critics say there's too many questions and employees could lose money if they accepted it. Senior administration officials tell NBC News more than 60,000 federal workers had accepted the offer before a judge paused the deal for this hearing. Here on Capitol Hill, Democrats say they have leverage in the upcoming budget negotiations because of the small majorities that Republicans have here in the Congress, and that any deal that Speaker Johnson were to come up with could very well need some Democratic members' support. But if the two sides can't come to an agreement, the government could shut down by the middle of March. Here in Washington, Von Hilliard, NBC News.
The thing with the tariffs is we already are producing way more steel here in the U.S., so I don't know how big of a hit that's actually going to be. You heard them mention Elon Musk's Doge crew. One of the members of his Doge crew apparently has the nickname Big Balls. Charlie Kirk shared out this clip of CNN talking about the Doge crew member with big balls.
So this is a 19-year-old high school graduate who has used the unfortunate nickname Big Balls online. So that would be one way that we could refer to him. He is now working at Musk's behest inside Doge. And we looked into his background. And so we found
Several notable things, Aaron, one of which is that this individual has founded multiple companies, including one.
Oh, I bet he has tiny little balls.
Tesla.sexy LLC, which he established in 2021. He would have been around 16 years old. Now, this LLC controls dozens of web domains.
So, Kara, you hear this, and you have known Elon Musk for years. So now you look at these young men who are now in data and in the private information about maybe hundreds of millions of American citizens as young as 19, the big balls here that Katie's talking about. Most of them are in their early 20s. There's an exception I'm going to get to in a minute. I'm curious, though, Kara, how well does even Musk know these young men, do you think?
Has he fondled their balls?
Yeah, I think there was no vetting whatsoever, as you can see, that's taking place. It took Katie and the really great team. Wired has done an astonishing job here. I could make a joke that's probably why he was hired for all this ridiculous nonsense and other nefarious things. But, there's an expression in technology. It's a feature, not a bug.
I don't understand how Charlie Kirk shares that out. Big Balls is triggering CNN's Karen panel, and the clip was just the most reasonable thing ever. Making fun of a 19-year-old that's in charge of your government. Nancy Mace is really excited to tell us something. She has been hyping it up all day. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say that we should hit the content warning on this one, because I think what she's going to talk about is very graphic. But I promise you, she has been hyping it up. She's even live on X tonight at 10. Nancy Mace's explosive floor speech to expose rapists, peeping toms, and sex traffickers. So, yeah, she's tweeting through it, apparently, because this just happened. It happened at 7 o'clock. She's been hyping it up all day.
We have 2 votes. And then at 7 p.m. tonight, I give my speech. It's a speech that I wish my younger self could have heard. Truth brings peace, even in all of its brutality.
So let's give her a shot here. We're not going to listen to all 50 minutes of this.
Unanimous
Good Lord.
consent that all members may have 5 legislative days in which to revise and extend their remarks and include extraneous material on the topic of this special order.
Without objection.
Mr. Speaker, I rise today to call out the cowards who think they can prey on women and get away with it.
It's just going to be transphobia, isn't it?
Scorched earth. So let the bridges I burn this evening light our way forward.
Light one up, tip one back. You heard the woman.
God's love has shown me the light, and God's grace has given me the strength to be here today. God placed this burden on my path, not to crush me, but to ignite something within me. A calling, a purpose, a responsibility, and courage, which I am using in spades today. The purpose of my speech tonight is to make sure these women will never be forgotten, and the men who hurt them will never be allowed to get away with it or hide again. God uses imperfect people to carry out his perfect plans. I ask God to fill me up, to be his vessel, and to use me for his purpose tonight.
That sounds so dirty.
Expose the devil's hand today. In Jeremiah 6:16, it says, when we're at a crossroads, that we're to look at the ancient paths, look for the right way, and walk on it. When I was saved 5 years ago in church in May of 2019, it was a Saturday night, and I was there. I was at a crossroads in life. And when I heard this sermon with my child next to me, he put his arm around me. He said, "Mommy, it's going to be okay. We are going to be okay." And I know that in God's faith.
Those are Representatives Boebert and Anna Paulina Luna behind her.
And tonight it is God who is showing me the right
energy flow
to take. Because this is about truth. This is about unveiling evil that is it.
Okay, here's the thing: is I really want to make those same kind of jokes,
King tonight,
but she's talking about sexual
always
assault,
right
and it feels
to do what is right. So what I am doing tonight, I know in my heart of hearts.
supposedly she's talking about sexual assault.
I'm going to take this Bible a friend gave to me. I'm going to place my hand on this Bible. I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and
Look
nothing.
at the face Bobert is making.
So help me God.
Is she shocked?
Today I'm going to free myself from the monster who broke me. Today I'm going to free other women who fell prey to the same man. Today I will free other women further from a group of men who committed the most evil acts against them. I want every woman and girl to know in the country, you have a friend and you have a sister.
Yeah, once again, you elected a rapist pedophile.
Like hell for you every day of the week.
Minty, good evening.
We must never tolerate abusers masquerading as men of character. Abuse doesn't discriminate. Abuse doesn't care if you are Republican or if you're a Democrat.
Oh, but you're going to make it political, aren't you?
Abuse doesn't care who you are or where you come from or how strong you are or what title you hold. I'm living proof that even as a member of Congress,
Because it makes me feel yucky if I'm like any of those three women could be my GOP mommy.
with the darkest corners of humanity.
But honestly, I think I'm older than
know
Luna.
someone until you don't. In November 2023, I accidentally uncovered some of the most heinous crimes against women imaginable. We're talking about rape, non-consensual photos, non-consensual videos.
She uncovered.
Of women and underage girls. And the premeditated, calculated exploitation of women and girls in my district. Today you will hear about the depraved men behind these
Was it a pastor?
Evil acts. These men didn't just harm their victims, they recorded their depravity as if it were a badge of honor. When I uncovered evidence of rape,
This happened just like
filming
an hour or so ago.
and sex trafficking, I didn't just see victims.
Was it in a
I saw a
church?
system that failed to protect them. I saw criminals who thought they could get away with it because no one had the guts, no one had the courage, no one had the bravery to hold them accountable because we are filled with cowards. I will burn this system to the ground if I have to.
Get to it.
These men
give us the
deets. Just criminals. They are predators, and you can see the names and the faces of these predators on this board to my right tonight. These predators are not untouchable. These predators are not invisible. And these predators are not invincible.
Look like pastors to me.
Today, their names will be tied to their crimes and their cowardice forever. Let me say their names for the record in an alphabetical order. Eric Bowman of Sullivan's Island, South Carolina. Patrick Bryant of Mount Pleasant in Isle of Palms, South Carolina, who also goes by Brendan Patrick Bryant. John Osborne of Charleston, South Carolina. And Brian Musgrave of Fort Mill, South Carolina. Let me be loud and clear. I would never allow any woman or underage girl anywhere near any of you. When you incapacitate women, it's against the law. When you sexually assault women, it's called rape. If you film women naked without their knowledge, without their permission, and without their consent. It's called voyeurism, and it makes you a peeping Tom.
I don't know what she's talking about. He was charged with battery after a hit and run. I don't see anything about sexual assault. I hope she gets sued for this. I cannot find anything. I'm looking up this Eric Bowman guy, and a court upheld his verdict in a 2018 hit and run. I don't see anything about a sexual assault charge. And that picture is the one from this hit and run charge. I do not see, it could be somewhere else, but I am not seeing it. You can see the dude clearly. That's the dude in that picture right there. Upholds verdict against ex-Charleston battery owner for 2018 incident. He struck someone twice in a low-speed vehicle in 2018. A jury ordered him to pay $1.8 million, so it sounds like it was even a civil case. I see nothing about him being charged with any kind of sex crime.
And it is illegal. When you and your business partners, like these, all business partners, when you and your business partners pay each other and you sexually abuse women, it's called sex trafficking, and it is against the law. And it, by definition, makes you a sex trafficker. Witness intimidation.
I'm not seeing anything
is also illegal.
Osborne guy.
To Eric Bowman, Patrick Bryant, Brian Musgrave, and John Osborne, you have bought yourself a one-way ticket to hell. It is nonstop. There are no connections. So
guys, I don't
of your victims can watch you rot.
I don't see any charges against any of these. The two I've looked up so far.
Is about justice. Truth has a way of rising no matter how deeply you try to bury it. Tonight is about truth. The painful, the cold, the hard truth. On the night of October 30th, 2023, I received a text message with screenshots from a friend of mine in South Carolina. It showed my then fiance, Patrick Bryant.
Wait, what?
On a dating app. In South Carolina, politics is a blood sport. I thought this was your usual run-of-the-mill political game. I thought it was a joke. When I confronted Patrick Bryant 4 days later, on November 3rd,
what was a joke?
He did was take his phone and put it in a safe and lock it. A safe.
What?
Identical to this one.
She brought a safe?
It was so confusing. I didn't understand. Why would someone put their cell phone in a safe and lock it? After more women came forward, I realized this was not for laughs. Soon after, I learned the dating app was the very least of my worries. Let me make clear, I don't care that he was on a dating app. 2 days later, Patrick Bryant put my thumbprint on his phone. One just like this. He put his thumbprint, my thumbprint on his phone. He also gave me the 4-digit code to his safe. The night that I was given legal access to his phone, I opened it for the first time. And what I discovered shocked me to my core. One of the first videos I saw was of a woman. She was incapacitated.
Wait, hold on. Patrick Bryant is apparently her ex-boyfriend. Like, she's just being petty. In Nancy Mace and her entrepreneur fiance, Patrick, so they were fiance, they were engaged. Patrick Bryant split after 18 months as staff quit her office, and she's accused of discussing her sex life with aides. The South Carolina lawmaker, who was one of the 8 to vote out former Speaker Kevin McCarthy, split with her fiance last month. This was December of 2023. Now they are fighting over a $3.9 million beachfront property with 6 bedrooms and a pool and $1.3 million Washington, D.C. home they both have equity in. And all of the men that she is accused haven't been charged, it seems.
And she was being raped. I found some photos of what appeared to be a teenager undressed in the kind of underwear a child would wear. To me, the facial expression of this young woman, young girl, teenager, looked scared and nervous. I saw another video of another woman who was undressed, clearly on a camera, unaware she was being filmed. She was slender, and she had long brown hair. I turned up the volume to hear if there was audio. I heard my voice. I zoomed in on the video, and that woman was me. My entire body was paralyzed, and I couldn't move. Were my feet on the floor? Was I breathing? I have no idea. I could feel pain shooting out of my heart, out of my chest, drop straight down to the floor like I was in a nosedive. The pain running through my veins wouldn't stop. Time was suspended for a moment. This monster stole my body. It felt like I had been raped. He stole my body without my permission, without my knowledge, and without my consent. This hidden camera that I found was at a property owned by Patrick Bryant and his business partner, Brian Musgrave. Here was a similar camera bought on Amazon. Something this small that could violate so many to such a heinous degree. I found an app where at least one of the hidden cameras I discovered was stored. I discovered on this app for this tiny little camera, there were 10,633 videos on it. Let me repeat.
Did you turn them over to the cops?
Had 10,633 videos on it. Patrick Bryant must have forgotten. In my younger days, in my youth, I used to be a computer programmer. I know enough about technology. I found more photos, this time of female employees. I found photos of wives of male employees. Photos of girlfriends and women who very clearly didn't know their private parts were being filmed and photographed.
This is not for Congress.
File after file, Patrick Bryant had upskirt photos of one particular victim, the wife of a male employee, who was also one of his best friends. He took upskirt photos of his employee's wife, spanning at least 8 years. He even took upskirt photos of her on their family vacations. And I know she had no idea these photos were being taken because of the way that they were taken. There's no way that she knew about it. I found about
T-minus, welcome in.
Bryant's trash bin of underage girls that he deleted in the hours after he gave me access to his phone.
Wait, what?
I recognized 3 of the underage girls as daughters of some of his business partners, some of them in bikinis. If you're a 50-year-old man and you have teenage girls in bikinis on your phone and it's okay, why would you delete them in the hours after?
Why didn't you turn over this incriminating evidence to the cops immediately?
12 plus videos of 12 plus photos.
I don't take your word for it.
Trash bin. What are you to worry about if there's nothing going on? But 3 of the teenage girls I saw in his trash bin of his business partners were in bikinis. One of these jarring photos of the child of one of his business partners was an underage girl, fully clothed.
To recap, Colt, Igloo, welcome in, guys. If you're just joining us, this Patrick Bryant guy was her ex, apparently ex-fiance. They had a messy breakup. She was accused of telling her staffers all about her sex life, and now it looks like I don't want to discount her allegations. It's possible these men have done something horrendous to her. And I do not want to make light of that. But I do not trust Nancy Mace. What we seem to know for a fact at the moment is that this is her ex. None of these men have been charged with anything remotely resembling what she has talked about. This is all he said, she said. And we're seeing it play out on the floor of Congress.
But her legs were spread open, unaware she was being photographed. Patrick Bryant took this photo from his penis area.
What?
In my accidental discovery, I found multiple devices used by...
He was holding it with his cock.
Without their knowledge. And that's before I get to what I uncovered with Patrick Bryant and his business partners.
Once again, your ex.
Access to Patrick Bryant's phone, I found evidence that he got a second mobile device. I documented it. Patrick Bryant couldn't transfer these files off his device fast enough. I discovered he was transferring terabytes of data onto another device. I documented it. Patrick Bryant would soon replace his cell phone with a new one. I documented that too. He forgets that I used to be
document anything?
Programmer. None of this is conjecture. These are not...
This is exactly conjecture.
These are facts. It is documented. Sometimes with metadata. I knew how to get that too. This is what I found.
Once again, doubt.
This is what I saw, and this is what I accidentally discovered.
They were cutting off Nancy Mace.
As you should know by now, I keep all the receipts.
I don't know this.
I personally identified almost a dozen victims. I found some witnesses, and I found more than enough probable cause, and then some. If I found this many victims with this little effort, why are they still on the streets of South Carolina today? I'm just one person. Imagine how many victims there truly
Did
are.
you take it to the cops?
No.
You supposedly had the evidence.
This cobble of rapists, this cobble of sex traffickers, this cobble of peeping Toms. Exactly 7 days later, after I got access to Patrick Bryant's phone, I was under extreme duress.
Her ex.
I found more photos. I found more videos. On my last night with Patrick Bryant.
If there is trafficking, if it crosses state lines, it's a matter for the FBI. But yeah, it's something that you'd probably take to the state police, and they would make the call to bring in the FBI. Anonymously, Femvox.
He physically assaulted me.
Her ex.
On the morning of November 13th, I fled my home and I went into hiding. I, as a member of Congress, fled my home and I went into hiding. It would be the first of 4 moves that I made last year. I still have the mark that Patrick Bryant made on me the night that he assaulted me.
You file a police
This
report.
mark is a scar. I see this mark.
Once again, no, because I just looked up court records. I did not see any record of an arrest dealing with Patrick Bryant. These 4 men have not been charged with anything remotely resembling what she has accused them of. So
of a free woman, free from a monster. I will wear this mark that he made on me for the rest of my life as a badge of honor.
And I don't doubt that her and her ex were
To the
fucking
friends
toxic.
who took me in, I want to say thank you. You took care of me when I had nowhere to go. You took care of me and my kids. Last year, I had to tell a woman that she'd been raped and she didn't even know it.
Oh, it's possible
And
that
she
she
didn't
gets
know it. She had no
sued for
idea.
defamation.
Because she was incapacitated at the time of the rape. I knew she was raped because I accidentally found the video of her being raped. I found photos and video of her assault on Patrick Bryant's phone. One of Patrick Bryant's...
And remember, she told us that this issue wasn't political. It applies to both Republicans and Democrats. And then proceeded to tell us about how her ex and his associates were the ones that were doing the raping and sex trafficking.
His business associates, John Osborne, sexually assaulted her at the home of Eric Bowman. Patrick Bryant and Eric Bowman both had their phones out like this as she was being assaulted. As
they were chanting ass to ass.
The 2 of them, the 3 of them business partners, the 2 of them had their phones out just like this, filming her as she...
It looked like they were more than business partners.
And she was completely laid out. There was no movement. There was no life. I couldn't even tell if this young woman was alive. John Osborne today, John Osborne, I want you to hear this in your omission as you're frantically texting people today. I cannot unsee what you did to this.
I have a feeling we're going to hear from these guys.
And you will not get away with it. None of you will, because tonight is about justice for me, and tonight is about justice for all of the women that you all raped, that you all filmed, that you all photographed, that you all abused for years.
Man, this is a Wendy's.
I would later learn that these men, the 3 of them, Patrick Bryant, Eric Bowman, and John Osborne, planned her rape. It was premeditated. Eric Bowman knew there were children in the home at the time of the rape, and he decided to orchestrate it anyway. But that's
Michael
not the only
Dougie.
rape I uncovered at Eric Bowman's home. In a second video, Patrick Bryant can be seen breaking into a room.
We don't know why it's in Congress. She made a huge deal about this all day on her Twitter. She hyped it up that she was going to be exposing rapists and sex traffickers. But basically, it's her ex and his friends. And it appears that she said she saw the evidence, but she doesn't actually have the evidence, and she didn't report it at the time when she had it, and everything's been deleted since. But she has evidence that things were deleted. It's very weird. It sounds fishy as fuck. The 2 ladies behind her are Representative Lauren Boebert of Colorado, Representative Anna Paulina Luna of Florida.
His pants undone, ready to rape a different incapacitated woman.
This has been a wild ride.
There was no life, there was no movement. I couldn't tell if she was alive. Eric Bowman, his business partner, filmed it. When I informed my children we were urgently feeling...
I mean, if that happened, that's horrible. I want to see these men brought to justice.
My children asked me if Patrick Bryant had ever raped me. I don't know how children know...
Wait, what?
...spirit of humanity, but my kids knew something I did not already know.
Your kid, how old is your kid? Asked you if your ex raped you. Once again, your ex.
Children have a way of knowing evil in others when we don't. In searching for victims over the last year, I met other women who were raped or sexually assaulted by some of these men.
Let me be perfectly clear. Just because it's her ex doesn't mean that he's not capable of raping her. That's not what I'm saying at all. But this sounds fishy as fuck. I want to believe women when they come forward with accusations. This woman did not go about it the correct way, which is to go to authorities. Yes, I know. Police have rape kits backed up all over the place. But supposedly you've got video evidence that rape and underage child exploitation has gone on, and you didn't you, a sitting congresswoman, when this supposedly happened, which would have been like a year and a half ago, you, a sitting congresswoman, did not take said evidence that was in your hand to the FBI, to local law enforcement at the time, which would have been the course of action to take, instead of now, as you're going through a messy fucking, once again, they have millions of dollars in property together. Let me clear that up for people that may have joined us a little late. This is from December of 2023. Nancy Mason, her entrepreneur fiance, Patrick Bryant, split after 18 months. Her staff quit from her office, accused of discussing her sex life with aides. They are now fighting over a $3.9 million beachfront property with 6 bedrooms and a pool, and a $1.3 million Washington, D.C. home they both have equity in. So they've got millions of dollars on the line here. And now she, in the middle of these court battles, is taking to the floor of Congress to call this dude a rapist and call out his friends. And it seems like there is zero evidence to support her claims that we know of. There are no charges to support her claims.
The other assaults I uncovered over the last year span over a decade, almost 20 years. In talking to these victims, there's a clear pattern of behavior. Women were incapacitated, they were raped, and someone filmed it. One night,
but supposedly these don't exist anymore.
Property owned by Patrick Bryant and Brian Musgrave on the Isle of Palms in South Carolina. Business partners Patrick Bryant and Eric Bowman were both there. I was served 2 small vodka sodas, like this glass right here, 2 small vodka sodas, like anyone would have at their neighborhood restaurant.
You got sloshed.
Later, I blacked out. I have never blacked out after having a vodka soda or any adult beverage ever.
She says she can handle her liquor.
But I know who has. The women raped on those tapes that I saw, the women raped that I spoke to over the course of the last year. The stories of these women were all too familiar. Now I know why. My memories of that night are just flashes in and out of the dark, flashes in and out of the night. I was raped that night. Was it Patrick Bryant? I don't know. But I was raped. I believe that they purposely incapacitated me. Was anyone else there? Was it filmed? Was it sold on the dark web? I have no idea. But I know what these men do to their victims. I learned firsthand about the weaponization of government going through this trauma because I met it head on. I fought in silence, and it was one of the hardest things I have ever had to do. In October, Eric Bowman tried to intimidate me, and he tried to silence me. And the state of South Carolina failed to take it seriously as witness intimidation. During the last year, I turned everything over to law enforcement and then some. I was told I, as a victim, would be investigated. Investigated for what? I am a victim here. I am turning in all of this evidence to you. And now you say victims. You're a victim of rape. You're a victim of being drugged. You're a victim of a peeping Tom and voyeurism. Yet we're going to investigate you. That is what this state told me. During the last year, more than once, I was told I could be arrested. Arrested for what?
I think you might be making up allegations.
Arrests are also a way to intimidate victims, instilling fear so victims hide in the shadows, so victims don't come forward, so victims don't ask for complaints to be filed. So there is no investigation because you strike holy fear into victims, or you tell them there's nothing you can do. You tell them they have no value.
Reporters better be looking into this.
If anyone would like to arrest me for standing up for women, here are my risks. Arrest me. Take me to jail because I am 100% guilty of turning over evidence.
You heard her, boys. Lock her up.
Of turning over evidence of rape, of turning over evidence of voyeurism, of turning over evidence of sex trafficking. And who knows, probably a heck of a lot more, and more crimes I don't have time to get into tonight. I am 100% guilty of advocating for justice despite every effort to silence me.
This has been one of the wildest things I've ever watched.
Raging every single day. It's not a problem confined to one race. It's not a problem confined to one religion. It's not a problem confined to one socioeconomic class. It's not someone else's problem. It is our problem. We must face domestic violence, sexual assault, rape, and sex trafficking with courage. We must face it with clarity, and we must face
Once again, you're a sitting congresswoman.
We must also face it with hardcore justice.
You're saying you're
for those who think they're strength.
You're saying the attorney general of your state did nothing, but these are absolutely charges that the FBI could look into. You are a congresswoman. I'm sure you can contact the FBI. They will take your claims very seriously. When you had that phone and you could have turned it over for evidence.
Is in intimidating and harming or threatening others. True strength lies in honor, it lies in respect, and it lies in the truth. Real men are protectors, they're not predators. South Carolina's chief law enforcement officer, Attorney General Alan Wilson, stated 2 weeks ago tonight that he will let his, quote, record speak for itself.
And I assume she's beefing with the AG.
Careful what you wish for, because your record speaks loud and clear. Women who come forward in your system are treated like criminals. Under your leadership.
Yeah, this AG is sitting at home going, this is the first I've heard of any of this. And now my face is up in front of Congress. Wow.
In your system and on your watch. Attorney General Alan Wilson, you know there were deliberate delays in an investigation in what I turned over. 228 days of delay, and you know this. 228 days of delay. That's 7 months, 2 weeks, and 4.
The Attorney General also, they investigate like businesses, wage theft crimes and shit like that. They investigate public officials. They investigate the cops. I don't exactly, the Attorney General of your state is your attorney, the state's attorney. Like, that's their purview. I don't exactly know why the Attorney General would be involved in this case. Once again, the claims you have made would fall under the purview of the FBI, and you are a sitting Congresswoman.
4 days of delay to investigate. Once again, today, you are kicking the can down the road like you always do. You are known for it. More days, more weeks, and more delay. Did the Attorney General contact the Department of Social Services when the state was told about a rape that happened in a home with children, when children were at home? No, he didn't. Did South Carolina's Attorney General have any of these predators indicted after being provided clear, cut and dry evidence, including video, photos, witnesses? No, he did not. When the attorney of a victim asked to speak to the Attorney General, Alan Wilson directly, he told the attorney not to send him any information, not to send him any documents. Did the state accept additional physical evidence from me late last year when I stumbled upon it? No, they did not. I was also told my domestic violence incident would not be investigated. In your system, Attorney General Alan Wilson, women who come forward are threatened with investigation like I was. In your system, women who come forward are threatened with arrest like I was. While the law is explicit in protecting victims, in your system, you don't follow the law.
I think she didn't have any evidence.
20 days.
They're like threatening her with filing a false report.
And only because I was persistent. I was given a victim's rights advocate 10 months, 2 weeks, and 6 days later. 10 months. 10 and a half months the state waited to give me a victim's rights advocate. What is wrong with you people? So let me remind you, Mr. Attorney General, you have one job, and it is to follow the law. South Carolina Attorney General Alan Wilson, you're not a real man because real men...
I think we're going to be hearing a lot of fallout from this.
...protect women. I have no respect for anyone who treats women and victims the way you do. I will stand up and stand in the way of anyone who will cause harm and abuse, and you're one of them. You've turned a blind eye.
And I think she's got a beef with the AG.
15 years.
So once again, the man that she was calling out was her ex-entrepreneur fiance, Patrick Bryant. They split after 18 months. Several members of her staff quit because she was accused of discussing her sex life with Patrick Bryant with the staff. Patrick Bryant now fighting with Nancy Mace over $3.9 million in beachfront property with 6 bedrooms, $1.3 million Washington, D.C. home that they both have equity in. So if her claims are true, it's disgusting, and I want to see those men brought to justice. Something smells fishy, and it might be Nancy Mace's cunt. I'm so canceled Justin on that one. Fuck. That was horrible. I should see myself out. I apologize. Speaking of musky smells, Elon Musk puts in a bid for $97.4 million to take control of OpenAI.
Hi there, Morgan. So an Elon Musk-led group of investors is reportedly making a $97.4 billion bid for control of the nonprofit arm of OpenAI. This is according to the Wall Street Journal. This appears to be an unsolicited offer filed by Musk's attorney and then submitted to the OpenAI board.
Vox, good evening.
OpenAI did not immediately respond to requests for comments. So the Journal saying the bid is being backed by Musk's own AI company, XAI, which they say could eventually merge with OpenAI if this deal goes through. He also has several venture investors backing him, according to the Journal. This could throw a wrench in OpenAI CEO Sam Altman's plans to convert to a for-profit. The nonprofit arm, as the plan is right now, would still exist as part of that and then be spun out as part of OpenAI's current plan. It would still own equity in the new public benefit corporation. But this is getting messy, guys. In a statement provided by Musk's lawyer, he says, quote, "It's time for OpenAI to return to the open source."
She's got amazing hair.
Force for good it once was.
I wish I had her hair. That's exactly the way I would wear it, too.
Quote, "We will make sure that happens." And it comes as sources separately telling me OpenAI right now is in the middle of raising money from SoftBank at a $300
Just imagine her with a Fu Manchu. That's me.
$40 billion. But Musk was a co-founder of OpenAI, guys. But this is the latest in the back and forth between these two major AI companies and major players at this point.
Did she say anything important? Because all I could think about was how awesome her hair was. A business Barbie with a sensible suit. That's kind of the way my hair used to look when I had more of it. Especially after I went to a Heart concert and Nancy Wilson had her hair kind of, it was layered. And so I got my hair layered after that. I wanted to look like Nancy Wilson. And it looked really good. I was going to take a picture and then like put my Fu Manchu and bandana on her, see how she looks. That seems like that would be a fun segment. Shit, I thought I already had Photoshop open. Hold on, give it 1 second here. Why do I do this shit? I'm not high enough for this shit. Pull this screen over here. All right, let's do some photoshopping. I can't see my tools. See here. I need my tools. We'll give her a Fu Manchu. Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect. Gotta give it a little depth, though. We gotta put a drop shadow on it. Too much, a little too much. There we go. There we go. I'm starting to get there. Might need to kind of cock it a little bit. What color bandana should we go with? What up, Grim? Give her the purple bandana. I think that's the closest one I got that matches her outfit. Ironic loves red though. I think that really goes well here. Hold on. Let's blend it in here. How do you think I look? I look great with that haircut. Oh, Jesus. I'm so sorry, lady. I'm so sorry I did you like this. That was dirty. I'm going to save that. I'm going to save. That's going to be the thumbnail. Poor lady. What channel was she on? CNBC. Like we were separated at birth. Oh. All right, we're going to go through these pretty quickly. It's probably a good time to mask up. Light one up, tip one back. If you weren't already practicing masking, you might want to now. Shit's getting real out here.
Has come down with the flu recently. In fact, people are going to the doctor for flu-like illnesses at the highest level in at least 15
Good time to be a hermit like me and Mary's do.
31 states.
Good evening.
High or very high levels of respiratory illness.
Socialist Dawn, good evening.
The entire tri-state area. So, how do you protect yourself?
Eyewitness News reporter Shantae Lanes joins us now with more. Shantae.
Well, listen, David, there are more than 53,000 flu cases currently here in New York State. That's just exactly four times the amount right next door in New Jersey. The flu season is in full swing, with the second spike now pushing the number of cases to the highest this country has seen.
Apparently, flu levels are elevated all over the country.
Immunity gap, which occurred right after COVID. A lot of people didn't get vaccines. They felt they were getting over-vaccinated, which is not the case.
Northwell at Syosset Medical Director Dr. Randolph DiLorenzo says the flu cases here in New York are quickly climbing.
We've been seeing a lot of flu.
There are currently 53,000 cases and more than 3,000 hospitalizations alone in New York, which is more than double the cases from this time last year.
Scary. Yeah. My husband gets it, but he's not as healthy as I am.
The most vulnerable remains the elderly and young children.
I'm happy I haven't gotten it yet.
Everyone should get the flu shot.
It's from the flu, but very scared of it for sure.
Alana Wexler of Wantagh has been keeping a close eye on her tiny, nearly 8-week-old son named Hugo.
I got the shot when I was pregnant with him, didn't get the flu, but we all just got some.
Dude, just take a flu shot.
That we're dealing with, but yeah. So far, so good, but our pediatrician said it was the highest number they've seen, like, ever.
Some of our friends have gotten it, high fevers and stuff like that.
Did you catch the flu? No. Okay. Did you ever? Not so far. Okay. I've never gotten the shot.
Medical.
And wash your fucking hands and your ass.
Getting the shot is part of the problem. He knows firsthand as a respiratory therapist at North Shore University Hospital.
People come in with a lot of lung problems, a lot of, flu, a lot of sicknesses. Some people stay on ventilators for months at a time, just from pneumonia, stuff like that. The flu can cause other issues and stuff like that too. So.
And so far, there have been 3 deaths this season linked to the flu. Doctors and medical professionals like the one you just heard from, they're urging people, if you haven't already done so, make sure you get the flu shot. Live in Mineola.
I think you're good if you got it in the fall. You're like protected for the entire season. Something going on in Kentuckiana. Flu cases are spiking. And I wasn't going to share a little something else.
A time when we have had this many school closings and schools moving to NTI because of flu. This is an exceptional year.
Local medical experts have raised concern as the influenza virus spreads across Kentuckiana. It comes as the Kentucky Cabinet for Health and Family Services reports the first pediatric death from the flu. According to the cabinet, the child did not have the flu vaccine. Tonight, this is our top story at 5 o'clock. Thanks for joining us. I'm Shay McAllister.
And I'm Connie Leonard.
It's been a slow news day. My top story was Gaza.
A jump to 9,000 cases of the flu this week, up from 6,000 last week. Plus, the department found 6 people died from flu-related symptoms this flu season. Our Ian Hardwick takes a visit to the hospital, hearing how you can stop the virus from spreading.
Although the best time to get your vaccine is before Halloween, it's not really too late at all. Tina here says this is the best way to prevent yourself from spreading the flu to other people.
I'm disappointed that those immunization rates have gone down this year, and it very well may be that's why we're seeing this surge or more children that are sick.
Louisville Health pharmacist Claypool reassures that the drug used to treat severe cases of the flu, commonly known as Tamiflu, is still well stocked in the hospital. However, she said it may be difficult to get a hold of in neighborhood pharmacies.
It will vary from city to city, pharmacy to pharmacy, and certainly we want to reserve it to those folks that need it.
Like folks with asthma or compromised immune systems, people over the age of 65, and kids under 2. A spike in flu cases, thousands in children this week and the last, forced several surrounding school districts to close their doors. But Dr. Chris Bryant, a pediatric infectious disease specialist at Norton Children's Hospital, sees a silver lining there.
Technically, according to the rules of the chat, if you're not on topic with what you're talking about, you have to call in. If you're trying to talk about some other political thing, you have to call in. Cases of flu surging in Kentucky and Indiana. Could that possibly have something to do with the outbreak that's going on in Indiana, as they are now testing hospital patients for bird flu? Dozens of dead ducks wash up on the beach in Whiting, Indiana, raising fears of bird flu. Indiana wildlife officials were testing birds from another Lake Michigan beach after dozens of dead ducks washed up on Whiting's shoreline. Officials were worried the deaths could be the result of the highly contagious avian influenza. More than 40 dead ducks were found along the shore in Wilhalla Beach this week, some frozen into the ice shelf along Lake Michigan. We also have in Jay County, confirmed just today by health officials. I had to go to like a local Inside Indiana business newspaper. Another avian flu case reported in Jay County. The case was reported at a commercial egg-laying operation, though the name of the operation was not disclosed. The number of states keeps growing. This on top of the fact that we have a new strain found in a health worker in Nevada. In a dairy worker in Nevada. New strain of bird flu is detected in a Nevada dairy worker. Infected with a new type of bird flu that's different from the version that's been spreading in the U.S. herd since last year. That's what federal health officials said on Monday. The illness was considered mild. The person's main symptom was eye redness and irritation, similar to most bird flu cases associated with dairy cows. The person wasn't hospitalized and has recovered. So that's good. The newer strain has been seen before in more than a dozen people exposed to poultry, but this is the first time an infection was traced to a cow. We're just giving it more and more opportunities to mutate. So that's going to be our transition into crime stories tonight. So content warning, if you don't like the crime stuff, that's what we're getting ready to do right now. How are we transitioning from bird flu into crime stories? Thieves steal hundreds of dollars worth of eggs amid shortage.
Thieves are now targeting.
Poke Rock Octopus, welcome in.
Continue to soar due to the impact of the bird flu outbreak. This heist of nearly $800 worth of eggs and other products was captured on surveillance video at a Seattle cafe. Police still trying to.
Hell yeah, thank you for being a freaking follower.
The theft comes more than a week after thieves stole 100,000 eggs from a distributor in Pennsylvania.
ABC's Ike Ajochi takes a closer look at the nationwide egg shortage and other impacts of the bird flu.
Tonight, as the bird flu
egg thievery,
the price of eggs to record highs, more evidence that the grocery staple is becoming an attractive target for thieves. New surveillance video showing two suspects entering a refrigerated shed behind a Seattle cafe in the middle of the night, loading hundreds of dollars worth of eggs and other breakfast foods into a white van before fleeing the scene. This comes as police are investigating another theft in Pennsylvania earlier this month, this one targeting a distribution facility for Pete and Jerry's eggs, where thieves were able to get away with 100,000 eggs worth approximately $40,000, leading the company to beef up security.
If it happened once, it could happen again, so we are putting additional measures in place.
In just the last month, more than 20 million birds have been impacted by bird flu across the country, creating a nationwide egg shortage as infected flocks are culled and their eggs destroyed to control the spread of the virus.
Steve, welcome
bird flu also infecting animals inside two iconic New York City zoos. 3 ducks at the Queens Zoo and as many as 12 birds at the Bronx Zoo are believed to have died from the virus, according to the Wildlife Conservation Society, which operates the parks. The organization releasing a statement. As a precaution over the last 2 weeks, we moved vulnerable bird species to protected areas in our parks. Our veterinarians and curators continue to closely monitor the situation in the region and are collaborating with city, state, and federal agencies. The news following Governor Kathy Hochul's order temporarily shuttering all live bird markets in the city and surrounding suburban communities.
There is no immediate public health threat. We have been vigilant and will remain vigilant so New Yorkers can go about their lives with peace of
no
mind.
public health threat yet.
67 people have been infected in the U.S. Most came in contact with sick or dead animals, and officials are saying there still have been no human-to-human spread of the virus. Ike Ajochi, ABC News, New York.
Hello, I'm Mark.
Hey, Mark Brown. Always a pleasure. Octopus, if you were wanting something that was more harrowing, make your butthole pucker, maybe this will do the trick for you. I mean, I specialize in all kinds of insane stories. 30 dead after a bus in Guatemala drives off a bridge into a ravine. Here's footage.
Para rescatar a una persona, una mujer de
The frantic rescue effort.
sumamente golpeada. Es lo que podemos
The bus was apparently out of control, driving at a high rate of speed.
Se utiliza equipo hidráulico denominado quejada de la vida, lo cual nos hace cortar y expander el metal, lo que nos hace una vía pues permeable para poder entrar e ingresar al automotor y de esta manera pues hacer un espacio vital para poder ingresar y de esta manera hacer ahí el rescate.
And he used a saw to cut it open. Oh, we know, Octopus. We know. We're watching the fall of the Empire live. That's kind of what this show is. And we try to make little jokey jokes about it. At least 30 people dead. A bus veered off a highway bridge into a polluted ravine on Monday, killing at least 30 people, trapping survivors. The bus was traveling on a busy route in and out of the city when it plunged approximately 20 meters from Puente Belize, a highway bridge that crosses over a road and creek. Media Winch, good evening. Person taken to a hospital in an ambulance has died after the ambulance crashed.
Patient being taken to the hospital in an ambulance was killed after troopers say the ambulance drove into the path of a semi-truck.
Now, it happened late Friday night at the intersection of McGee Road and State Road 39 in Plant City. 8 on Your Side investigator Brittany Muller joins us with more on the story. Brittany.
Stacey, Josh, troopers say the ambulance was driving in non-emergency mode, meaning it did not have lights or sirens on. Crash scene investigators found the ambulance pulled out in front of a semi, causing this deadly crash.
It needs a traffic light, and they don't always stop.
Jean drives this road almost every day, and she tells me this Plant City intersection is dangerous, especially at night.
Pitch black. There's no lights anywhere. No street lights. No nothing.
On Friday night, FHP troopers say this ambulance was heading east along McGee Road in Plant City. Investigators say the rescue truck was operating without its lights and siren activated and pulled onto State Road 39 without yielding. That's when the ambulance was hit by a tractor trailer. The truck jackknifed and the ambulance flipped over.
God damn!
Paramedics inside were injured, and the 64-year-old Plant City woman being taken to the hospital died. They have not yet identified.
Poor woman. Wow.
The driver was not hurt.
It's dangerous.
Hillsborough County declined to interview but shared this statement with 8 on Your Side. Hillsborough County Fire Rescue is in the business of public and life safety. While on the job, its members are not typically on the receiving end of rescue services. The crew members involved in the accident Friday night and the entire HCFR family extend their deepest sympathies to the family of the patient the crew was transporting.
Per department policy, Hillsborough County says the 26-year-old ambulance driver has been placed on administrative leave pending the outcome of an internal review and law enforcement investigation. We are waiting to receive the crash report from Florida Highway Patrol. Coming up tonight at 6, what we've learned about the fire medics involved. Brittany Muller, 8.
Oh, you didn't have to time him out. I was getting ready to say, Grim, my friend, if you want to talk some shit, like, you need to call in, you need to hop in the Discord. Yeah, nobody has to take vitamins and supplements, because if you, like, actually eat the food you're supposed to, if you eat fruits and vegetables and everything, you'll naturally get the vitamin C that you need. Claudius Maximus, good evening, my friend. Steve, good evening. Welcome in. Leave Byronic alone, please. I would appreciate that. If you're gonna pick on somebody like me. It's called the Troll Patrol. I clearly welcome it. But me, troll me. Come for the king. There are people that have like a vitamin deficiency and shit. That's stuff you talk about with your doctors. The whole supplement vitamin shit that you get from a store, like, that's a scam. Those are all scams, especially if like a podcaster is telling you to take it. Total scam. A police officer in Georgia is now a good officer. He's passed away.
Funeral services will be held this week for the Roswell police officer killed in the line of duty.
Officer Jeremy Labonte was shot on Friday night while responding to a suspicious person call. The GBI says he approached a man for questioning in the parking lot of Ace Pickleball Club. And that man pulled out a handgun and fired multiple times. The suspect was taken into custody, and Officer Labonte was taken to the hospital where he...
Well, Claudius, that means you're right.
...years old. We have team coverage tonight. Doug Richards will have more from those who knew Officer Labonte, while Chase Howell is speaking to people in Roswell about the impact of this tragedy.
Oh, that's not what I want to hear. I wanted to hear how he died in the line of duty. Responding to a suspicious person's call was suddenly fired upon. We don't get much other detail. This was fishy in Huntsville, Alabama, my old stomping ground. The family of this realtor, very known in the community, had been saying this guy had been abducted, and the cops kept telling them that he just left on his own accord. But they finally upgraded this case to an abduction. The family knew something was up right away. The cops dragged their feet for months, apparently.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Nolan Crane in for Margot. The family of missing Huntsville realtor Ronald Dumas is shocked and angry after police revealed today they believe he was abducted. This coming after police consistently for the past 2 months said there's no evidence he was in any danger. This afternoon, police announced 4 people are wanted for kidnapping in this case. A 5th person is wanted for lesser charges. One of them is a Huntsville native. The other 4 are from Memphis, Tennessee. None of them
Let me see what I got in my bong.
Police in Huntsville and Memphis are actively searching for the 5 suspects, along with U.S. Marshals. WAFF 48's Noah Cowell joins us right here in the studio. And Noah, today you talked with Dumas' family who say they feel...
You can stick around and watch Live Music Monday with us.
Nolan, members of his family told me they believed from the first day Ronnie would never disappear on his own. They feel Huntsville police did not take them seriously when he was first reported missing. Today, police announcing they're searching for 5 suspects doesn't surprise them, but they're still devastated.
Ronnie Dumas was last seen in Huntsville on December 15th, 54 days ago, in a liquor store with 2 women. Shakira Samples is the mother of Dumas' son, and Talia Berryhill is the mother of his 2 young daughters. They both say Ronnie was a terrific father to their children, and they knew right away he was in danger.
He's a devoted father. He's ever present, and he would never walk away from his children.
The family says the 5 suspects police announced today have been on their radar for a while now, thanks to a private investigator. They don't recognize any of them and believe Dumas didn't know them either. Their main frustration is with Huntsville police, saying they've begged investigators to believe Ronnie was in danger from the start.
Huntsville cops are corrupt as fuck.
WAFF 48 were given the abduction update before they were.
This has rocked us. And we really wish that we were taken seriously the first time. We want him home. If you know something, please say something to us. We need him back.
The news knew about the update before they did.
More than anyone. Berryhill says her 4-year-old still carries a picture of her dad around wherever she goes.
They need closure. They need it. We don't want to keep, well, baby, he will come home. We don't know. He needs to come home.
Mm-hmm. In any shape or form that it may be.
Please, because we need to wrap this up for our children.
Again, police are still searching for all 5 suspects. 2 of the suspects were arrested in Memphis almost 2 years ago on kidnapping charges. We've reached out to Memphis PD for updates on
They've kidnapped before.
Ronnie Dumas' family is offering a $10,000 reward to anyone who can help find their children's father. The reward will expire in 3 weeks.
Ooh. Well, that's wild. The cops didn't take the family seriously. They might have been able to find him. Bugsy, welcome over to the Twitch side. Oh, I'm sorry, you're on Discord. I thought you'd went over to Twitch. Here's one of those irony things. A DUI attorney was arrested for, you guessed it,
Huntsville defense attorney who handles DUI cases is behind bars on a DUI charge himself. Huntsville police say they pulled Russell Crumbly over at the intersection of Airport Road and Chateau Drive this weekend. Jail records show Crumbly was booked into the Madison County Jail just before midnight. Now he is currently being held without bond. Crumbly is a partner and defense lawyer.
Why are you holding him without bond?
Price attorneys and handles criminal cases. DUI is one of their specialties. Huntsville police are...
He could represent himself. I would if I was him. But I don't think I would be getting a DUI. Like, I don't understand getting a DUI. When you got money, you can get an Uber easily. What the fuck? He also kind of looks like the kind of dude that would get a DUI, if that's wrong of me to judge a book by his cover. A former Disney Channel actress shot in the face at a birthday event for her husband. Former Disney Channel actress shot in the face. I almost said shot herself in the face, but I don't know if that's how it happened. Former Disney Channel actress shot in the face at a birthday event for her husband. Former Disney Channel actress Christy Carlson Romano says she was shot in the face during a birthday event for her husband on Friday. Romano is best known for starring in Even Stevens and voicing the title character of Kim Possible, and most recently being a contestant on Special Forces World's Toughest Test. She took to Instagram to saying, "It's not fun, I bet."
Shot in the eye. It was not fun. IMC.
You'll shoot your eye out, kid.
I got shot here. It is still inside. There's a fragment there. There's a fragment here. We cleaned that out. I'm very grateful to first responders as a whole. I mean, they're just the most amazing superhero-like people to take care of us at our most desperate times. And so I'm grateful to...
So there was another party with them, and they unsafely fired in the wrong direction and shot her in the face. Was it a shotgun? Was that just... Because if it was birdshot, wouldn't it be a lot more?
St. David's South.
I don't know. Where's Flash at? Flash knows this shit.
This is really bad tonight. Everything's kind of clear.
Yeah, it looks like a BB.
But, got to say I got shot in the face and lived to tell the tale. Be grateful for every day.
Is that what she got? She got shot with birdshot? Damn, what a... Ooh, that's going to mess her fucking eye up, isn't it? Fortunately, a fragment got lodged behind my eye, and it's too risky to remove surgically at this time. Doctors will continue to monitor me. Ooh! Yuck indeed! And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why I don't play with guns. I am clumsy. I don't want to be around them. You get shot in the face. Kid Rock stopped the show and eventually left because nobody clapped for him. Kid Rock, I do not endorse this message. I don't want to even read this. Kid Rock is a total badass. I don't find that to be true. Jeb Rock, I like that. We all know this. Now I will admit we watched Kid Rock one time for Live Music Monday. I think we did the artists most closely associated with the campaign, so we did Kid Rock and Beyonce, and Kid Rock was actually decent. Very, very good live, actually. He's so badass that one time he shot up a bunch of cans of Bud Light because he was mad at the company featured a transgender person. Oh, we're being facetious here. I'm sorry, I didn't get it in the tone. But he never took the beer off his Kid Rock's big-ass honky-tonk rock and roll steakhouse menu. Badass as fuck. Now, Kid Rock is back to show you all that he remains a badass as he quit a show midway through because nobody clapped. Seriously, somewhere in the midst of a cover of Creedence Clearwater Revival's Proud Mary at David Bryan's birthday bash in Nashville, Kid Rock stopped singing to aggressively address the lack of clapping. Is that what this video is of?
Mr. Kid Rock, everybody, hold the shit. Hey, you Proud Mary? 2, 10, 2, 10. we're doing G. Yeah.
I shouldn't get copyright on this. It's gonna be nothing like Credence.
No, wait, hold on.
Oh yeah, nothing like Credence.
Child in the city, working for the man every night and day. But I never saw the side of the city.
Does she even know the song? Okay, she got it. I'm not gonna make it stop because apparently he throws a fit here. And he's trying to get the crowd to clap. Here we go.
If you ain't gonna clap, we gonna sing. That's how it's gonna work.
I think he just wanted an excuse to get off the stage. He wasn't feeling it.
Don't get too fast. Now we can go. I was rolling. I was rolling.
Jeb Bush.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of tape down in Memphis. Come to lot of tape down in New Orleans. But I never saw.
I don't think he was paid for this. I think he was just a guest there and he got up on stage to sing. He was at somebody's birthday party. I was hoping there'd be more fit. Nobody took the threat seriously. Where they did, they just want him to leave. So Kid Rock left. You know what? Fuck y'all. Oh my God. Speaking of artists that have K names, Kodak Black's lawyer wants you to know that he is not on drugs. Kodak Black sent fans into a tizzy over the weekend after being filmed inexplicably lying in the street scarfing on chicken wings like they were the last of their kind. Where's the video? Oh, here's the video.
Free advertisement. You over there recording the wrong thing. Take a seat next to him. Take a seat next to him. Enjoy that food. Enjoy that. Take a seat next to him, brother.
Hold on, I want to be part of that shit, bro.
Now look at that drip he's got.
Yeah, for the people.
He's really into those wings.
Boy, you want something, though?
Tell them folks what's going on. Tell them like, man, what the hell going on?
I'm on the bed. I'm on the bed. Come on, let's go.
His lawyer is saying he is not on drugs. Kodak's attorney, Bradford Cohen, tells TMZ the star rapper is not in any trouble, nor is he on drugs. In other words, he's just being Kodak. There have been plenty of examples to establish what that means. Fans had a different POV in the wild clip. You can see cars driving by as he stuffed his face in the middle of the road. Kanye West is also not convinced that Kodak is okay.
Okay, so I thought Kodak was in Miami. I see he's in Atlanta. So I'm getting a flight down to Atlanta right now and do something. So anybody that's already down in Atlanta that knows him and knows anything about him, I know I said fuck rappers and all that, but right now, I need y'all, man, to like...
What did Kendrick say about people going to Atlanta?
Something. Like, we can't... I know y'all think I'm crashing out and shit, but y'all, you see me talking, I'm expressing myself, I'm cathartic and shit. And look, man, please don't... I know I said a lot of shit, man. Just let me go down there and go help this man out.
Colt, good evening.
And so, I'm gonna be down there. I'm about to get my flight right now.
Well, here's the thing is... That's a good way to dovetail into our next story since we're in the bullshit part of the show. Kanye's had his Twitter deactivated because he's been on one for the last 48, 72 hours. Kanye West's latest multi-day rant ends with a deactivated Twitter. Twitter is a Kanye West free zone once more. West's account was deactivated after he embarked on a hateful and anti-Semitic rant beginning on Friday morning, continuing through Super Bowl Sunday. Over the course of the past few days, the rapper posted dozens of tweets, including "I love Hitler," "I'm a Nazi," and multiple in support of Sean Diddy Combs. On Monday, CNN reported that West deactivated his own account as opposed to being suspended by the Twitter admin. If it was the latter, it wouldn't be the first time. In 2022, West was suspended after a different anti-Semitic rant in which he infamously tweeted that he would go DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. Elon Musk reinstated the rapper's account in 2023, but may have had some regrets about that last night, given what he has posted on his account, now classified as NSFW. You should not be seeing that anymore. The Twitter owner wrote in response to a user pointing out that West has posted literal porn on the timeline. Regardless, West thanked Musk in one of his last tweets before deactivation. I'm logging out of Twitter. I appreciate Elon for allowing me to vent. It has been very cathartic to use the world as a sounding board. So he's been tweeting about Hitler and shit, but also he apparently bought a Super Bowl commercial. The Yay Super Bowl ad was approved before Yeezy.com went full Nazi.
So what's up, guys? I spent like all the money for the commercial on these new teeth. So once again, I had to shoot it on the iPhone. Go to Yeezy.com.
Was that the commercial? Wow. Kanye West pulled some very expensive, very anti-Semitic wool over the eyes of Fox when he purchased his Super Bowl Sunday TV ad. The 30-second spot, which Kanye says he shot on his iPhone, shocked a lot of viewers, seeing as how the rapper had just gone on a horrible anti-Semitic rant, flatly declaring on Friday that he's a Nazi.
If Kanye West had a football, I think he would be spiking it today because I think he feels like he pulled one over on maybe large numbers of people who saw his Super Bowl ad. Now, where you are, you might not have seen this because it only ran in 3 cities.
No, it may have run in more.
Well,
the local stations may have run it all over the country.
But he planned to, the buy was for Los Angeles,
Philly,
Atlanta, and Philly.
Right.
But this ad, 30-second spot, which cost him $8 million, was promoting his website, which might seem innocent.
It's a bizarre ad. I mean, he doesn't say anything,
It's very similar to the local ad he bought last year during the Super Bowl. This is now a thing he's doing, but
he says nothing.
Literally next to nothing. He just talks about getting a grill, spent all the money on this grill, and
it's over.
And it's over. So, the problem, if you saw that ad, you might have gone to Yeezy.com.
And there was only one item. It's sort of like Raising Cain, but the Nazi version.
The Nazi version. Instead of chicken fingers,
right,
you get this. That is the one thing that is for sale at Yeezy.com. White T-shirt with a swastika.
Kind of says it all.
It sure does.
It's pretty unbelievable in light of the rant that he went on X recently, announcing he's a Nazi, calling himself Adolf Hitler. Now he has a single T-shirt with a swastika on it. And if you needed a reminder of who he is and whether he was sincere about these beliefs, here it is. The scary thing is he's moving a lot of this merch. There's sources that say he moved 100,000 of these shirts for $2 million in revenue. So
what?
Incredible commentary on where we are as a country
Wow,
right
that's
now.
shocking.
So it makes
maybe not shocking. But it's really troubling.
Yes, definitely.
Wow,
very troubling.
So the question: how did the ad get on?
Right, because this would have been something he had to buy.
Well, and not just that. On Thursday and Friday is when he went on that anti-Semitic
when
rant.
he flat out said,
"I love Hitler."
Nazi.
Yeah,
I love Hitler. Said all that stuff.
So this was a couple of days before the Super Bowl. So the question: why did the ad run?
Well, here is the process that we're told. This is the approval.
Wow.
On Friday, as he was posting that stuff, the ad goes to people at Fox for approval. And what they're looking at, they're basing it purely on the content of the ad.
And it looked innocent enough. It was just him.
He says nothing.
And there was nothing on the website.
When you went to Yeezy.com on Friday, it was still
blank.
Usual. No, it wasn't blank.
I thought it was blank.
Usual Yeezy merchandise that would be there.
Oh, right.
Shoes, shirts,
so it seemed innocent.
Bodysuits.
Seemed innocent.
And so it gets approved. What no one was looking at what he was.
What kind of a statement is this?
Media. Now we're told that he bought the ad through an ad agency, and then the ad agency goes to Fox. We're told it is typically the ad agency's job to vet what the client has going on outside of this commercial.
We are told Fox had issues with the ad agency not giving a heads up on this thing.
Right.
Well, here's what I also don't understand is since 2022 he's had these noxious views. So why is he not on a sort of do not fly list for
on a watch list for ads?
The content of the ad is maybe innocuous, but Kanye West has been this figure for a number of years. So
because he's always forgiven. You know what I mean? It's like at a point people kind of just brush it off and say, well, it's Kanye, he was having an episode, this and that. I mean, he gets.
But he's no different than David Duke now. David Duke would never be able to get a commercial buy even if he was in a dentist chair.
I agree with you, but I'm just.
You would think
he's a one-off in that sense.
I got it, but you know what, though, Derek? I don't know if David Duke had the $8 million and wanted to do an ad.
Yeah.
These days, in the environment of the country and everyone embracing free speech,
you're right.
Then maybe he would get the ad.
Well, I never thought in a million years that I would feel bad for Kim Kardashian and for Kanye's children. And while the Super Bowl couldn't get him off, I'm glad he's at least off from X.
Yeah, although that was not over the anti-Semitism, that was over him posting
with pornography.
Right. By the way, that ad,
apparently that was on his own accord. There wasn't any kind of action on X's part or Elon's part. Game was wild last night. I wasn't expecting what we got. If I really might have been on to something. I ended up, and this was not planned. I hung out. We listened to Kendrick Lamar. I just put on all the Kendrick that I had, and I put the Puppy Bowl on in the background. And then I put the game on, and I was kind of calling commentary on the game as we were just hanging out. And then the chat asked for commercials. And he looked up, like, if I was able to show the commercials, and apparently I am. So I set it up so that we could watch the commercials. And I thought about it. I was like, there might have actually been, like, a market for that kind of content. Like, there were people that may have wanted to, know when the halftime show was going to happen and were there for the commercials. But, like, also, I didn't give a shit about the commercials, so I wasn't really reacting to them. So that might have, but, like, maybe I should do that. That's something that we might do next year. Also, by the way, I don't know why I didn't think about this. We're going to do Valentine's Day television specials on Friday. I don't have... Christmas, Thanksgiving, Halloween, I already had a folder of specials. I'll have to go find Valentine's Day specials, but I actually looked it up. There's a lot. So we're going to do classic television Valentine's Day specials Friday evening, probably about 8 o'clock. So I love doing classic television specials. Trump apparently got cheered at the Super Bowl, but I've seen some people say that he got booed. Other people said they piped in fake cheers. Didn't even stay the whole game. God damn it. The TikTok is not showing up the way it's... This is the woman we want. Oh my God.
Because the fucking Trump was at the goddamn game. God damn it! Trump should not have been at our fucking game. Fucking.
Apparently she blames...
The reason why we didn't win because the fucking Trump was at the goddamn game. God damn it! Trump should not have been at our fucking game. Fucking.
Trump was a bad luck charm for the Kansas City Chiefs. That was not worth all the time it spent. I spent trying to find it. I'm sorry. Oh, shit. The Easter eggs that you might have missed from Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl performance. I had no idea that was Serena Williams. I don't know celebrities. I've got a face blindness. So that's very cool. I also had no idea that she was Drake's ex and Drake stalked her until today. Ahead of Kendrick Lamar's set, people were hungry to know both how much more salt he would pour in Drake's wound, as well as who would be joining him on the field. The answer to both were unexpected when the camera panned to Serena Williams crip walking during Not Like Us. The layers to the appearance were endless. The most damning is that Williams was rumored to date Drake years ago. He's referenced her on songs like Worst Behavior and once called her husband Alex Ohanian a groupie. Williams gets a defensive shout-out from fellow Compton native Lamar on Not Like Us when he rapped "Better Not Speak on Serena." But outside the beef, Williams' cameo was a full circle moment. Back in 2012, she was criticized for doing the same dance after she beat Marina Sharapova at Wimbledon. She joked about it after the Super Bowl. Man, I did not crip walk like that at Wimbledon. Ooh, I would have been fined. The flag formation divided states of America for the rap star's performance of Humble. Lamar took the stage surrounded by 60 dancers dressed in red, white, and blue. Lined up to look like the American flag, Lamar rapped the Damn Tracks lyrics. Standing in the middle of the flag, cut in two opposing halves for many viewers, the Humble section of the performance and the dancer formation symbolized the state of America today following the election of President Trump, who was in the audience, but I don't think was still there by that time. I think he left long before halftime, but the game looked like it was over before halftime. I stuck around into the third quarter to see if maybe the Chiefs could make a comeback. They did not. Angelum, good evening. Warlord was watching on my Discord stream. I let him have it because he was watching the U.S. commercials and shit. But I cut him off because I stopped watching it, went back and watched Kendrick Lamar again. Samuel L. Jackson is Uncle Sam. Before Lamar kicked off his set, the first person we saw was none other than Sam Jackson. The legendary actor was dressed as Uncle Sam in a star-spangled suit. He welcomed the audience to the Great American Game and served as the MC. He calls the set too loud, too reckless, too ghetto, at one point showing a contentious relationship between Lamar and Uncle Sam as a figure of American idealism. Uncle Sam is also keeping score as the show goes on, deducting one life when Lamar is joined by his homeboys on stage. I also saw many people compare him to being his character in Django. Lamar opened the halftime show by stepping out of a 1987 Buick GNX. Fuzzy Sim, I don't think I told you good evening. A motif from his 2024 album, named after the muscle car, the vehicle symbolized both the classic roots of Lamar's rap style and a subtle homage to his father, who drove that same vehicle when Lamar was born in 87. Kendrick's A-Chain, the lowercase A chain that caught viewers' attention, but he perceived it as a subtle reference to his A minor chant, Not Like Us. Mustard's appearance at the end of the Kendrick's set, he brought out Mustard, the LA-based producer who produced Not Like Us as well as TV Off. That was real cool. I enjoyed it. Everyone in the stadium, A minor. They all yelled pedophile. Kendrick censored the word pedophile. But the fucking stadium said it. Hotel guests at this resort returned to find something weird sleeping in their bed. This happened in London, apparently. Oh, in the Netherlands.
They returned to their room and discovered a seal asleep on their floor. The room has direct beach access, and, well, the locals believe the guest accidentally just left the door open and that, well, you know,
the seal just wandered in.
Rescuers were able to safely relocate the cozy critter, who might have just forgotten, you know, to hang the Do Not Disturb sign on the door. Hotel in the Netherlands. Stunned.
It is Live Music Monday. It does look soft. I'd cuddle with it.
Sleep on their floor. The room has direct beach access, and, well, the locals believe the guest accidentally just left the door open. And
when you cuddle with it?
Guy just needed a break. Animal rescuers were able to safely relocate the cozy critter.
He just needed a break.
You know, to hang the Do Not Disturb sign on the door. Either way, really, each hotel in the Netherlands.
If you're watching on YouTube and the podcast, go ahead, light one up, tip one back.
On their floor.
It's all right to have a little fun before you hit the sack. I'm Justin Freakin. We'll see you tomorrow night on the Troll Patrol. Live.
Guy just needed a break. Animal rescuers